As a loading up, Meridian Star. David Hayes, you heard on the program a moment ago, 2.9. He is the favourite. Best Light at $37. $89 for 11 Kutzbar, drawn deeper. Next on the market is number 4, Master Fay at $100. That's 9 to 1. Remembering dividends of multiplied by 10, $10 minimum bet. And Trillion Win is $130 or 12 to 1 on the big board. The last one is in. We're ready. Stand by for a start. Flag is up behind. All is okay. And racing. Best Light drifts back. Exultation. Bullseye, not a lot of speed. And the King of Cloyne is expected, has come out running. Master Fay and Wasabi working hard to get over, though. Shining Crown in the yellow and orange right thereabouts. Horse of Fame and Trillion went out deeper trying to get around the field. From Kutzbar, Bullseye underneath it. Drifting back, Slow Top. Scenic Wonder, Exultation. Best Light, Meridian Star on the grey-red zone of the tail. Master Fay tackled by Wasabi and the pair out by a length and a half. Trillion Win third. The King of Cloyne is fourth as Trillion Win tries to grab hold. Shining Crown right between them from Bullseye, Kutzbar and wider out Horse of Fame. They're running. Next then came Slow Top, Exultation, Scenic Wonder. Best Light, Meridian Stars lost a length or so. Red Zone last. On the circle, a line of 3. Trillion Win's gone up 3 deep at the 600. Master Fay on the rail and Wasabi the middle. The King of Cloyne follows beautifully from Shining Crown, Kutzbar. Next between runners, Bullseye pushing through, Exultation. Slow Top, Best Light to the rail. Meridian Star a fair way back by the quarter pole. Master Fay fought hard. The King of Cloyne's got the run on the fence. Wasabi's done. Trillion Win battles on, pulling to the outside and coming on quickly. Bullseye now. Further back, Kutzbar and Meridian Star giving them 5 running on. Bullseye in the middle of the track trying to get to Master Fay and gets to him. The King of Cloyne, Best Light the rail. Meridian Star's coming with his run all over the top of them. Meridian Star coming at Bullseye. Meridian Star draws level, wins the money. What a sprinter. Meridian Star wins it from Bullseye. Master Fay third, I think, from the King of Cloyne. And Best Light a lip away the rail. Next in Kutzbar, followed by Slow Top. Next in Trillion Win, Red Zone, Exultation, Shining Crown, Scenic Wonder. Wasabi's dropped out and Horse of Fame has been pulled up from the event. That's why we love him. He looks done. He comes off the floor and wins the money. Number 2, Meridian Star is first. What a great run. He gave them a big start at the top of the straight and he's won by half a length going away. He's got an incredible turn of foot. We're blessed in Hong Kong with good sprinters, and we're blessed with good sprinters now that are coming from the major sales all over the world. And this one is an Australian bred horse by Dolphin Street out of the mare named Framed, who's a Tate Gallery horse. And he's proven a whirlwind finish in the final leg of the TT. Howard Cheng waves the whip in delight. And he's won by a margin. Bullseye came to be in it. He hit the front. He looked the victor, but a great horse ran him down. And Master Fay, what a game animal he is. He just keeps battling on. They back him up every week, and he keeps producing great efforts. The King of Cloyne has run 4th. And on the rail, Best Light has run 5th. A few of these have wobbled home, haven't they? Wasabi, after burning early, couldn't keep going. Well, the key element for him is if the speed is on, there was pace aplenty on the soft ground. And Meridian Star has given them a start, pulled out and rattled home the last 300 metres to win. The big question is the TT. A few of us made the comments that he was the banker horse. You needed him 1, 2, 3. Would have they put Bullseye in? Would have they put Master Fay in? You'd think yes, 4, maybe the 10. Best Light drifts back, Exultation, Bullseye, not a lot of speed, and the King of Cloyne is expected, has come out running. Master Fay and Wasabi working hard to get over, though. Shining Crown in the yellow and orange right thereabouts. Horse of Fame and Trillion went out deeper trying to get around the field. From Kutzbar, Bullseye underneath it, drifting back, Slow Top, Scenic Wonder, Exultation. Best Light, Meridian Star on the grey-red zone of the tail. Master Fay tackled by Wasabi and the pair out by a length and a half. Trillion Win third, the King of Cloyne is fourth as Trillion Win tries to grab hold. Shining Crown right between them from Bullseye, Kutzbar and wider out Horse of Fame. They're running. Next then came Slow Top, Exultation, Scenic Wonder. Best Light, Meridian Stars lost a length or so. Red Zone last. On the circle, a line of 3. Trillion Win's gone up 3 deep at the 600. Master Fay on the rail and Wasabi the middle. The King of Cloyne follows beautifully from Shining Crown, Kutzbar. Next between runners, Bullseye pushing through, Exultation. Slow Top, Best Light to the rail. Meridian Star a fair way back by the quarter pole. Master Fay fought hard. The The King of Cloyne's got the run on the fence. Wasabi's done. Freddie and Win battles on, pulling to the outside and coming on quickly. Bullseye now. Further back, Chutzpah and Meridian Star giving them 5 running on. Bullseye in the middle of the track trying to get to Master Fay and gets to him. The King of Cloyne, Best Light the rail. Meridian Star's coming with his run all over the top of them. Meridian Star coming at Bullseye. Meridian Star draws level, wins the money.
That has been an amazing win here today by Meridian Star, but he's got the continued trait, the way he stretches his head right out. He has never beaten Meridian Star, and that is his 5th success over the 1400 metres, or his 6th success, I should say. His one other victory has been over the mile of the 1600 metres. Howard Cheng extracting everything out of him. For a while there, he really looked to be struggling to get past Chutzpah.
He looked done.
Oh, I'd like to have a close look at the head-on patrol footage. They seemed to get very close, whether Chutzpah was coming out on him or Meridian Star was coming in, but he looked flat chat to get past him at that point. But boy, once didn't he get going there over that last 100 metres. That's been an amazing win.
In the back of my mind, I thought he can't win this horse. Surely he's too far back on the soft ground. But you think our classic trial here, or the classic mile as it's now known, which is the mile lead up for our derby, where he came from that day was unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. I guess anybody that knows the traits of this horse, you can never sell out on him, but I think that's been one of his greatest efforts today. Or the day he dead heated when Howard last rode him, that was quite a spectacular effort as well. But invariably with his run style, he is going to give you the heart palpitations. But the favourite has got the money. For Hong Kong's leading apprentice, Howard Cheng, indentured to David Hayes, and that caps off a training double for David. He partnered, combined with Shane Dye to win with the Australian-bred Splendid Star, remaining unbeaten when he took out race number 3 on the card over the straight course.
It's always a bit unfair to compare horses, Darren, but we know a lot of our friends and people around the world watching today, and it's good to have Australia and New Zealand on watching our program live. But the turn of foot that this horse has got, you could compare it a little bit to a horse from Sydney called Telesto. He comes back from amazing positions and is able to win.
Not a bad analogy there. Yes, spot on.
He hasn't got the bad manners Telesto had, though.
No, that's right. This horse has got the record now of 16 starts for 7 wins and 4 minor placings. I wouldn't mind an in to your pipeline with Bullseye. A few people around town think this will go well. Boy, didn't he go close.
It was a good run.
Would have been a magic day for rider Simon Yim to cap a double. Sure, he'd be more than pleased with that effort. Of course, continuing on the Australian flavour today, Jeff Lane training the previous winner in Skystone, taking out race number 5. Master Fay, game again. The King of Cloyne, he tried desperately hard, getting up on the inside of Master Fay. Say one thing, he certainly tries hard enough, the King of Cloyne.
Okay, just awaiting a full scales report from Hong Kong, but a training double on the program for David Hayes and young Howard Cheng, 3-pound claiming rider in the saddle. What a whirlwind finish, and David Hayes all smiles. Another winner for one of the best in the business. And in Hong Kong, he's not far off the top as far as trainers are concerned. He's jumped back into 2nd position on the program tonight. The Khan stable leading on 47. He's now up to 36, David, with that double. So he'll make it an interesting fight to the line. Now, Shartin, the chairman's sprint, no surprise to see Fairy King Prawn so short. He's very, very firm in Hong Kong. And we're looking for value outside of that. The 1 and the 3 are the clear second elects. Best of the best at $8.60. Citizen Kane, $11. And Citizen Kane is not right in the market. Cliffhanger, though, is in the market in Hong Kong. Super Tab taking $66. Odds on now, Fairy King Prawn. Fastest Star number 5 is at $30.19 for Kenwood Melody. Similar quote to Hong Kong. 18 Plenty. And that is some value too to be noted. $26 Super Tab, 18 for that. 22 for Prime Witness. From there we go to Schubert at $11. This is the Shane Dye ride. Sunshine River at $99. 36 for Tejas Sur. Could be a bit of value if you're playing with exotics. 25 Triple Espresso. King of Danes at $13. Has been one of the big firmers overnight in Hong Kong. Winner of the Group 3. And that was the Illawarra Mercury down at Kembla Grange as a 2-year-old. Crystal Charm at $37 is shorter in Hong Kong. Now that patrol footage they were discussing, Darren Flindell, the eventual winner, is right back near last there, Meridian Star. As he comes out, there was some question of perhaps a little bit of contact. At this stage, here he comes out to the outside now. and from that head on there doesn't seem to be any effect at all. And he scoots home out wide with that big nose roll and rattles to the line. What a powerful finish. That's the horse on its inside came out a tad, and that was Chutzpah. Well, that's the first race, just awaiting the all clear there. So as we count down to the Chairman's Sprint, you're watching our coverage of the Queen Elizabeth Cup program. One race down, two to go, a break. More on Sky shortly. And the big crowd there at Sha Tin. Alf Matthews on the line. There's Tarjasur, the horse that Fairy King Prawn failed to run down in that video we saw a short while ago. And this race is an interesting one from the start point, because they do have not a long run from the barrier before they turn out of the back straight. So from the 1200 metres, they're on the A course, and they've got a good to yielding ground, and you heard David Hayes mention closer to yielding. So you're getting more towards the dead ground. This racetrack has the 12 Triple Espresso, which Alf mentioned would be better suited with firmer ground. An amazing capacity, Sha Tin, to absorb heavy rainfall. It's quite phenomenal. They use the Strathair surface. The Super Tab win pool now is up past $25,000, and Fairy King Prawn continues to tighten up in betting. And we'll get a comparison on its price as the runners head out from the crew, as we link up with the telecast team headed by Darren Flindell in Hong Kong.
Just found a little bit wanting when he comes in against some of these horses on level weights, and I think that's the same case again here today. He stayed actually far cooler today than he has done for a long while, so hopefully that'll reward dividends will be rewarded.
Of course, the shock of the race where Triple Espresso got the buddy was the fact that King of Danes did not lead from gate 1 over 1200 metres, which was quite extraordinary. He took the sit behind them, but the horse was never really comfortable in the going. And that's what will probably get him beaten again here today, the sting out of the track.
Yes, I think combination sting out of the track and the 1200, it just seems to stretch his stamina to the absolute and beyond his limit. I'd be very surprised if he was able to come up trumps here today. He looks to be in pretty good order. He is now getting fairly warm before he leaves the paddock. It's not the first time he's done that. He's an outstanding looking individual, but obviously things look like they've worked against him here.
That's the 13-horse King of Danes. He's so good down the straight, but not as good on the shifting ground. Crystal Charm, been looking at her for a bit at 50 to 1. Frankie Dettori back in town, gets a ride here on the mare.
Yeah, she's a fairly genuine sort of mare too, and she often saves her best for the straight 1000 as well. Nowhere near as good, I don't feel, around this 1200 track. She's certainly a good-looking mare. There's nothing wrong with her here today. I think, as I say, the temperature helps. When the temperature drops, she normally runs better, but she's been pretty much out of form this season.
Never been placed as well over the 1200 metres, which has got to be a further concern for her. All her form has been over the 1000, predominantly here at Sha Tin, over at the Metropolitan course of Happy Valley. So $535 about her. Frankie Dettori in the saddle. You've got plenty of great horse flesh to look at here, Mark. What's your final three?
Oh, you certainly have. I'd like to stretch it to 4, if you will.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing overly surprising even amongst those. I stick with Fairy King Prawn on top from best of the best. They do look exceptionally good horses, but with the ground a big worry of best of the best, I think you would have to include the 6 Kenwood Melody and the 3 Cliffhanger. Cliffhanger does look to be very much a good horse, an improved performer here today, so I would want to keep him safe. So it's 4, 1, 6 and 3. Let's say I would like to really include the 3, because I think the 1 may struggle on the ground.
OK, Mark, you can saddle up. We'll hear from Mark in the minutes after the race, catching up with the winning rider of this year's Chairman's Sprint Prize, and again after the running of the QE2 Cup. So Mark clarifying there with Kenwood Melody and Cliffhanger, the 2 horses we missed initially in the parade, but Mark speaking very highly about both those animals. And there's Cliffhanger on screen in the dark green colours. Eric Sam Matan aboard. What do you like here, David?
You can't say no about 4, surely.
Well, you could tip an upset.
I'm not going to. If I did that, they throw stones at me. I think he'll win. Kenwood Melody deserves to be in the finish after what happened to him last time in his middle leg at the Sprint Championship. And 3 Cliffhanger, I rate him as a very good sprinter. I think he's got a great chance also. So 4 with the 3 and 6. That's the Triquinota for you.
Isn't it amazing, David? We referred back to this race last year, the Chairman's Sprint Prize, which was actually run a little bit later in the season in May. what Fairy King Prawn has achieved in that 11-month period. His defeat that day to Tarjasur was reminiscent of his defeat in the International Mile here, which would have to go down as two of his biggest runs.
It's not an uncommon thing, is it, Darren? When horses get rolled, it stands up as their best performances, but he's been an international horse for such a long time. When Ricky Yu had him, he trained him perfectly and won an international sprint with him. And as you say, he was rolled in this race by Tarjasur, but his run was much better than the winner. He gave him 6 at the top of the straight and was beaten a lip. Then he's gone to Japan, won there. He's come back here and been lipped. As we've all read about, he went to Dubai and they weren't happy with the way they rode him. It's the way they've always ridden him. Danny Shum, who's the assistant trainer for Ivan Allen, we interviewed the other day, and I pointed the question to him, you've got a wide gate, you're going to have to go back surely. And he said, no, he'll be in midfield. What's going to happen from the gate?
Well, it all depends on a few of the other candidates, doesn't it? How quickly will Citizen Kane and King of Danes go in this race? Will King of Danes hold down the front? That's the question. If they take the sit on King of Danes, we might end up with a slow run sprint.
Well, they were happy to take the sit last time.
In a much lower profile race at Happy Valley.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same thing again.
Yeah, just ticking down a little bit in the market, $193 King of Danes, so he has come down a point or two. I'll come back to you, David, in a few moments for the broadcast of this year's Chairman's Sprint Prize. It's the third and final leg of the Champion Sprint Series. Fairy King Prawn and King of Danes are both in line for an $800,000 bonus for the connections if successful, having won 2 legs. Fairy King Prawn taking out the Bohemia Sprinter, and King of Danes with that slashing all the way win over the straight course of 1,000 metres in the Centenary Sprinter. It's Frankie Dettori taking Crystal Charm around a post, and Wendell Woods aboard Kenwood Melody. Failed over the mile last time because he was a Group 1 winner in Australia, winning the Caulfield Guineas in 2 seasons back. But since switching to trainer Laurie Founds, he's been trained expertly as a sprinter.
Just before we go there for the race, to line up the Australian prices with what's paying in Hong Kong, divide those units by 10, you get their current price. So it's $1.50 the win for the favourite Fairy King Prawn. Have a look at the 3, and it comes in $11.20 odd. It's $18 here on New South Wales 20 Super Tab, and that just gives you a comparison with our prices compared to theirs. And there's Shane Dye aboard Schubert, a group winner in Australia, as we return to Hong Kong Jockey Club team headed by Darren Flindell.
Written a winner on the card here today with David Hayes, a Splendid Star, and David Hayes spoke in glowing terms about this horse today, Schubert. He goes out at 45 to 1. David had a definite lean towards him in preference to the stablemate Prime Witness, who's better drawn out of gate number 1. But if the speed is on, Schubert will be the beneficiary of that. He produces a very, very strong finish. His last one here over the 1,200 metres, he had 9 pounds lighter when a flashing third behind Plenty Plenty, when Howard Cheng's claim was utilised that day. So $460 about he, Schubert, for the $10 investment. Running down the board, 2's on now, Fairy King Prawn, so he's got out a point in the market. $159, the top one, best of the best. Number 2, Citizen Kane, $196. He is coming down. Number 3, Cliffhanger, is tightened, $108. Fairy King Prawn at 15. With Fairy King Prawn starting to edge out in the market, a lot of the longer price commodities are starting to tighten up now. $1,300 still about Faster Star, and Kenwood Melody at $154. He's come down. Plenty Plenty at $180. Prime Witness $168. 9 Schubert $439, so he's just clicked down to 3 points. Sunshine River at $1,400. Tarjasur $270. Triple Espresso, a last start winner at the Valley, $620, where he beat King of Danes, who's at $197, and Crystal Charm at $480. Douglas White, the rider of Best of the Best, Hong Kong's leading rider, and Douglas in line for a riding treble on the program here today. 71 winners under his belt, and has an unassailable lead in the Jockeys Premiership this season. Unfortunately, the 2000-2001 season has not been the greatest for this former champion sprinter Best of the Best. He's been out of the money in the winner's circle in any case at all 4 runs in Hong Kong, and of course that run in the feature sprint in Japan in the earlier part of the season. His last 1,200 metre success, Best of the Best, was 2 seasons back in Class 1 on New Year's Day 1999, so that must be a concern for his backers here today, Best of the Best, coupled up with the fact he does not handle the sting out of the ground. The former UK galloper Cliffhanger has only had the 3 starts in Hong Kong, a great first up run and a solid 5th behind King of Danes last time out. Will he be suited by the wet conditions? He struck that at his first start when going so well in the Bohemia Sprint. Comes to Hong Kong with a record of 1 from 15 in the UK. Fastest Star, one of the real long price commodities here, way over the 100-to-1 mark. Well, Fairy King Prawn is going to jump at 2's on in Hong Kong, $15 a winner, a play spread of $11 to $12. He is clearly the punter's elect. Let's take it to David Rafal now for the call of the Chairman's Sprint Prize.
Thank you, Darren. Runners are loading up well for the last leg of our Champion Sprint Series. And what a horse he is, Fairy King Prawn. Can he come back from Dubai? He's amazing run. And isn't it a small world of racing? Sunline attacked yesterday in Sydney and beaten into the place. We've got Fairy King Prawn that was engaged in that race in Dubai, running in this, and in the very next race, the Great Red, the French champion Gym and Tonic. It's going to be a special hour as Tripit Expresso comes in. Tarjasur, a former winner of this race, prepared by Ivan Allen, and his stablemate, the champ Fairy King Prawn, to move in. Ivan's won this race 5 of the last 6 years. The year he didn't win it was when Fairy King Prawn was prepared by Ricky Yu, and he filled 2nd and 3rd with his representatives, that being Oriental Express and Holy Grail. Tarjasur loads in. He stands up well. The rains come back again. It's a misty rain. It's miserable weather. But Fairy King Prawn is in. Stand by for a start. Ready to go. All in. Loaded away. Flag is up behind, and they're racing in the Chairman's Prize. Tarjasur slow out. Sunshine River, Kenwood Melody drift back. Schubert drops out the back. King of Danes best out. Citizen Kane goes up to attack him, and Prime Witness drops in. Plenty gets over. Best of the best off the fence in midfield from a Waywell Cliffhanger and getting forward. Crystal Charm next. Fairy King Prawn midfield, but 3 deep. Tripit Expresso under him. Tarjasur saves ground, followed by Kenwood Melody. Fastest Star, Sunshine River. Schubert last. There's 18 from first to last. King of Danes leads ahead. Citizen Kane at him and bores the pressure on. Plenty's got the box seat. 3rd. Cliffhanger forward, but 3 deep. 4. Prime Witness the rail off the bit from best of the best. Back to the outside. Crystal Charm battling on Tarjasur. Tripit Expresso. Fairy King Prawn's got to go yet at the quarter pole. Citizen Kane went to the front. Plenty comes on. Cliffhanger staying hard. Fairy King Prawn comes out. He's 5 off the lead, but unleashing a run. It's Citizen Kane. Plenty. Here comes Fairy King Prawn. Cliffhanger trying to go with him. Fairy King Prawn. Ma Wing says go. Strides to the lead. All rise for the King. Fairy King Prawn back in his courtyard. Wins the Chairman's Prize by a mile. Cliffhanger 2nd. Plenty 3rd. Citizen Kane 4, Kenwood Melody 5, next in Crystal Charm, followed by Fastest Star, Sunshine River, Tripit Expresso, Prime Witness, Schubert, King of Danes, best of the best, and Tarjasur's last of all. Ivan Allen 1, 2, 3. Fairy King Prawn, one of the world's great, has drawn away. Ma Wing's a great rider. He's been able to pick up the ride on this champion horse, and he's won the final leg of our sprint series by a margin, the way a champion should win. He pressed him on from a wider gate. He got him to midfield. He was 3 deep though, but he had cover. He followed, he stalked, and he pulled out, and he drew away the last 400 like a world-class horse that he is. Fairy King Prawn, Ivan Allen, Wai Chung Ma Wing, one of the world's great riders, I feel. One of the world's established great trainers. Ivan Allen has won 6 of the last 7 runnings of this race. Here's the Happy Connections coming down, and what a dream to have a horse like this. You get around the world, you're there on the biggest of days, you claim some of the biggest prizes, and today the world is watching as well. They're watching a horse they know so dearly. Fairy King Prawn, Wai Chung Ma Wing will be catching up with Mark Richards in a moment, and I think the simple line will be, what a thrill, what a moment, and what a feeling. Thumbs up from Wai Chung as he returns with the outrider. We can use adjectives, but it's really hard to find a new one every time this horse runs. Simply breathtaking, just the best, simply the best. He's just outstanding. And doesn't he take a race by the scruff of the neck? His turn of foot is something to behold. He can sit off a hot speed and dash. He can sit off a slow speed and dash. No matter where he is in the run, if you're travelling and he's behind you, you know you're going to be done. You know he's going to be too fast for you. In the time I've been watching races, I've rarely seen a horse that shows the turn of foot like this guy. He's one of the very special in the world, just like the hoop on his back, and Mark Richards is joining us now on the program with Wai Chung Ma Wing.
Thank you, David. Wai Chung Ma Wing, this is your first time on him here in Hong Kong. He's Hong Kong's champion. That was devastating.
Thank you very much. I think all credit's got to go to Ivan Allen and his team. I'd like to thank Mr. Lau and him for giving me the opportunity to ride a horse of such a great caliber. He's certainly a top horse. I'd have to put him with those that I've ridden. And it's nice to come back to Hong Kong where I've had a lot of success and going to the winner's enclosure on a horse like Fairy King Prawn.
Well, the sting out of the ground was no problem for him. His turn of foot was absolutely devastating.
Yeah, Mark, you know, I was lucky enough I got a good position from his barrier. And when I swung for home, I could just see them about 2-3 lengths in clear of me, and I bided my time. When I asked him, everything was there. He's got a quick acceleration. He's a really top horse.
He certainly is. I think you better go and take your crowd. Well done, Wei Chung.
Thank you very much.
Wai Chung Ma Wing chatting with Mark Richards, and it'd be interesting to know whether Wai Chung was concerned at all at the top of the straight. He had to give them a start, and those of us that know him know that he's going to win from those positions. There's never going to be a doubt. But simply the turn of foot that he produces is incredible. And I think Wai Chung has summed it up very well also. Congratulations has to go to the team. They've got the horse around the world so many times. And as Darren Flindell was pointing out, who's going to join our program again, it's been the most amazing 12 months. He's gone from Tokyo, where he blew them away in the Yasuda Kinnan. He was just beaten here by one of the world's very best mares for a long time in Sunline. Dubai was his race to win, and he's come back here only weeks later. Just an exceptional horse, Darren.
It's an amazing tale, isn't it, all round, from Ricky Yu to Ivan Allen, from Stephen King to Robbie Frad, now to Wei Chung Ma Wing. And what a timely ride for Ma Wing here today in his bid for a club jockey licence for the upcoming season. Couldn't have been better timed. He's a very popular man here, Wei Chung Ma Wing. His winning strike rate was incredible in his initial season of racing here in Hong Kong. I'm sure many punters and everybody in the racing industry would love to see him here on a full-time basis in the upcoming season.
He seems to be just another of the South African jockeys, Darren, that's stepped out here to Hong Kong and proven himself as a world-class rider.
Well, that's one thing about the South Africans. The top two here in Hong Kong, well, 3 of the top 4, South African, Douglas White, Robbie Frad, Felix Coetzee, and had Ma Wing continued on riding here, he would have been right up there with a serious bid, at least on the second line of this Jockeys Premiership, the way he was going.
He becomes a dual winner of the race as well. He won this event back in '99 when he beat Oriental Express, and at Holy Grail, as we said before, on that occasion he was prepared by Ricky Yu, and Stephen King has won the race. This horse in Hong Kong really puts himself in amongst elite band of horses that's won the Chairman's Prize, now known as the Chairman's Sprint Prize. Mr. Vitality is a great horse, one of our greatest sprinters in Hong Kong, who came from Australia. He won the race twice. Quick and Away, he must have been an amazing horse at the turn of the 90s. He won in 89, 90 and 91. They say he was really good. And Mystic won the race twice when prepared by Peter Rung and Tony Cruz rode him, and was beaten when trying to make it 3 in a row.
They've run 110 flat, and that's on a dead racing surface, a yielding racing surface, so that's good time. Updating the Queen Elizabeth II Cup, the big race.